And welcome back, everybody. Welcome to a new video. But first, before we jump in the car and talk about our topic, I wanted to show you where videos will start being filmed soon. So me sitting in the car shooting these videos, it'll still happen sometimes, but not all the time, because we have built, and when I say we, I mean my wife has built me a beautiful office. I'm talking low because she is sleeping still and I'm headed to work, but this is going to be the studio. Camera will be here. This is what you'll see. It'll probably be panned in a little bit. And I also have a secondary monitor right there. We have some more cabinetry coming here, some great artwork, a big, huge Lamborghini emblem right there that will come in. I've got my video games and I've got my weights, and I am absolutely down about 4 pounds. So you will see a new skinny person on this video soon, committed to self-improvement. And this is it. This is where it's going to be all done. This is where we're going to be doing most of our videos. So we've made some progress on the move. The rest of the house is coming along, but we're still, I mean, it's still an unpack disaster to get through everything. But in the end, just thought I'd show this to you real quick. All right, now let's go jump in the car and hit the road. Say hi to Pickles. All right, let's go.
And welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another new video. And today we're going to talk about the Demon 170. If you just saw TK Garage's video on Demon values, you know, and if you saw mine a few weeks ago, and I know Butter talked about it, is, you know, Demon 170 values are most certainly softening. And that's to be expected, especially when there's some drama and some bad news surrounding it, along with high interest rates and a very tough used and new car market, along with dealers self-inflicting wounds upon themselves by being greedy and holding out for absolutely astronomically unrealistic, ridiculous prices that would physically be impossible to get unless they could find the stupidest person in the world who just happened to win the lottery and decided to blow their money on something that's going to depreciate by 90% the second they drive away, because you can't charge $300,000 for these cars and expect those cars to hold their value or return a value, despite what the mid-20s, no doubt extremely intelligent gentleman at the dealership recently told me that he believes that anybody who buys a Demon 170 will, in the next 5 years, have a car worth close to $500,000. And after I got up off the concrete laughing my ever-loving ass off, I had to explain to him that in the history of our planet, we have not seen a car do that in 5 years. So when he said that, though, he seemed confident, seemed like he believed it 100%, and he said that one of his customers who bought the car actually believed that too. Now that is sad. That is leading sheep to slaughter when you tell people this, and if they believe it, then I have to say that it's on them. The other big issue that's coming up right now, aside from softening prices, which we knew was going to happen, but if you can ask for, you know, worse luck as a Demon owner, it would be for any of these engines to start having problems. And if you watched one of my last videos, you saw that some of the Demon 170s on the forums are showing up and having oil leaks right out of the gate. Now, these are on Demon 170 forums, and there's pictures, I'll put them on the screen, of these guys that are saying, hey, I don't think this is right. And it's like, no, it's not right. One guy had his car that was a little too high in oil, overfilled when it showed up. Other folks are getting their Demon 170s showing up with damage to them from shipping. I can't help but to think that this is a situation where if there is some defects with these Demon 170 engines, then there is a big problem, considering that so many of these, I would say most of these, were purchased as speculation cars. These people are buying them to sit on them and potentially flip them. And I'll tell you, where Dodge screwed up is what they should have done, what they could have done. It would have been a little slippery, but they could have said, hey, look, just like Chevy did, if you buy the car and flip the car, the warranty is void. That could have at least given them a little bit of an out from having to fix these things when they blow up, but the attorneys will get a hold of this situation at some point, which is already happening. We'll talk about in a second. But then we saw Racer X's Demon 170 with a couple thousand miles on it completely implode and have metal shavings in the oil, and now he needs a new engine. Now go watch this video. I'm not trying to spread any any unfair negativity about that car other than just the facts of what took place. It appears that he did nothing wrong. He used the car for what it was meant to be used for, and that car grenaded on itself. So that's an issue. Now, could be only one out of the 3,300 that have ever been built that will have that issue. Let's assume that that's the case. Then no big deal. They'll fix his car, which Dodge, kudos to Dodge for standing up and taking care of that car. Now, certainly, does it help that he is a YouTuber? I think it doesn't hurt. Let's just be honest with each other here, that they're not going to void the warranty or say that it wasn't covered for what he was using it for, some craziness like that. But it sounds like they're going to do the right thing and fix his car. But for all of you out there that own these cars and are speculating on these cars someday being worth lots of money, let me just throw a little thought out there for those of you that are sticking in your garage in a hermetically sealed bubble, hoping that 5, 10, 15, 20 years that car is going to be worth a lot of money. What if you have one of the bad engines? What if you have a bad engine that's going to grenade on itself like Racer X's did once somebody decides to finally use that car? And let's say that since you didn't put any miles on it, that you've sat in your garage with 11 miles on it for the next 5, 10, 15 years, fully exhausting the warranty. Now somebody else buys that car and they decide to use that car as it should be used, and then they find out they've got one of the bad engines. They've got a bad engine. What are they going to do? Well, they're going to have to buy a, $30,000, $40,000 engine, if it's available at the time, and replace it into that Demon 170. That would suck a lot, especially considering that these people who are selling it believe and hope that it'll be worth a lot more money. So assuming the person who buys it down the road buys it from a collector and that car is priced really high, that person's not going to be real happy if they've got a bad engine. So I would say that if I'm a speculator, I would be concerned about the values of my car. If I'm somebody who's thinking about buying one down the road, once they're 3, 4 years down the road, once they're out of warranty, I would be a little concerned about buying that car. It's just me. I'm not here. It seems like some of my videos are just me bashing the daylights out of Dodge. These guys are giving us the content. Dodge is giving us the content. When these issues show up, when cars show up leaking oil, cars show up damaged, cars show up and get to the track and a couple thousand miles into it, blow up on themselves, these are issues that I didn't create. These are just news stories that we get to share. And when they're happening right in the middle of a dropping of values, a lowering of prices, more cars were selling it. I think it was Mecum recently at the auctions for less and less money, that 145, 150 range. So you've got values tremendously sliding, dealers still holding hostage of these cars. The only redeeming quality that's taking place with the dealers is that the warranty doesn't begin until the dealer sells the new car and it goes into the new owner's hands. But keep in mind, the flippers who bought cars from the dealership, the warranty started that day. So if somebody bought it as a speculator, and let's say they took delivery of that car back in January, and now we're sitting in April and going into May very soon, you're looking at having 4 or 5 months of warranty gone from that car before you even buy it. Now you end up buying it, instead of having 36 months, you end up having 31 months. And that's what we're going to start seeing happen as cars sit on the market with speculators longer and longer. So my point with that is that every month that warranty on a car that is showing to have some issues, showing signs of issues, that car is should depreciate. You should pay less for a car that's showing up to you as a brand new car being sold by a speculator on the secondhand market through eBay or something, with less and less warranty period left on it. So be very clear when you're shopping for these cars to know when that car was originally purchased from the dealership and how much time is actually left on that warranty, because the more time that goes by, the less warranty that's left. And now there's issues on these cars. Who wants to buy one of these cars for even $150,000 and ended up having a $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 engine episode that you got to pay for? I mean, that would really suck, especially if it's out of warranty, or if Dodge says you're not covered. That's a big problem. So I wouldn't want to pay that kind of money for it. Now think of it like this: if you paid MSRP, let's say $110,000, $120,000 for a base Demon, and they're still going for $150,000, and you smoke your engine, I mean, you might be able to squeeze out of there after paying for that engine if it's not covered under warranty. If Dodge turns you down because, let's say, you're not a YouTuber, if that were to happen, then you're going to be stuck with that repair. You might still be okay because you've got a little equity depending on tax, license, all your costs to get that car. But you might not be. And for that reason, I believe what we're seeing and what I just saw yesterday is the attorneys are already swimming. The sharks are swimming. The sharks are swimming, meaning the trial attorneys are out there saying, hey, look, this is an issue, and if you're one of those people with those issues, I'll put a picture on the screen, one of the ads I saw yesterday from an attorney who's out there fishing for Demon 170 owners. But guess what he's fishing for? I'm going to read this to you. Doesn't appear to be fishing for the ones that have damage, because the assumption is Dodge should step up and fix those cars. But what he's fishing for are people who are disgruntled and unhappy about one thing. And you ready for it? So I'm going to flip to the next page. And it says, this law firm has filed a class action that is to be arbitrated against Dodge related to performance capabilities of the 2023 Dodge Demon 170. Dodge advertised the 2023 Demon 170 as the, quote, world's fastest muscle car ever produced, unquote, with a top speed of 215 miles per hour. However, since its release, there has been public reporting that Dodge has stated that the vehicles cannot safely maintain speeds over 149 miles per hour. So let me just tell you what that says. A lawsuit has been filed. It is a class action lawsuit, and what they're looking for are class members and people to come in and say, yeah, I feel fried as well. I bought it thinking it was going to do 215 miles an hour. I was lied to, I was misled. And that's going to be a problem. Now, the good news is there's only, what, 3,300 of these owners out there. Even if all 3,300 in there get some money, there might be some decent money that you can get if you're one of those Demon 170 owners, because you're not spreading it amongst, let's say, 100,000 people who bought these cars. It's a much smaller group. So depending on how much damage they can convince Dodge these people have had, or if it were to go to trial, how much convince a jury how much damage they have. If they can get a decent chunk of money, it can offset these ridiculous markups that people paid. So think about this. If I paid $200,000 for a Demon 170, and there's a chance that I could extract, let's say, $50,000 of that money back out of the manufacturer, as much as I am not the litigious type, I'm thinking they should have marketed it properly. They shouldn't have said it would do 215 miles an hour. And you know what? This hand doesn't have anything in it. I think it needs $50,000 since I paid $200,000, $170,000, $180,000. There are people out there paid more than $200,000 for these cars. So do you think the Demon 170 owners are not going to line up for that money? I would be shocked if they didn't. Now, I believe, and these guys are spending money advertising to Dodge folks, Demon 170 owners, and it's just a matter of them raising their hand and saying, yeah, I feel hurt. And whether you believe this is right or not, in the end, it's going to cost Dodge some money. I predict there's no way they can get out from underneath this thing, and there's going to be a bunch of 170 owners that hopefully get back some of their money. But here's what's really sad. The dealers who charge those humongous markups, Dodge who didn't get any of that money, the manufacturer, are not the ones going to have to pay it. Most likely, it's going to be the manufacturer that ends up having to pay these people and pay for either the judgment or the settlement in the class action that will go to all these Demon owners, and the dealers get to keep all that money. I don't know how this all flesh out. Most certainly the attorneys will know, but just pay attention out there, because if you're a Demon 170 owner, you might be able to get some of your money back. Who knows? This may be an opportunity for you to do it. So with that, everybody, let me know what you think in the comments, and please like, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.